Hey singers, welcome back to the Unlimited Voice. Today we are tackling a sneaky issue that can get in the way of your best sound: tongue tension. This is a super common issue for singers of all levels, and it can really interfere with vocal freedom and tone quality. When the tongue is tight, it tends to pull back, narrowing the throat and making notes harder to hit. Plus, it can cause extra strain and even impact how clear and resonant your voice sounds. Have you ever noticed a sort of Kermit the Frog sound where you get that tone a little bit happening when you're singing? Well, that is tongue tension. A little bit might be okay, but we never want to go too far with it. So if you've noticed tension or fatigue happening when you sing, the tongue could be a part of it. Tip number 1, let's start with a simple manual tongue stretch to release some of that tongue tension. You are going to start by going and getting a paper towel. I like to get it wet and then really wring it out so there's as little moisture in it as possible, but it's still damp. That way it won't stick to the tongue and you won't have like the frozen flagpole thing that happens and the tongue gets stuck to. Anyway, so you are going to take that damp paper towel. I like to fold it into kind of a strip, and then you're going to lay it underneath your tongue and wrap the sides around so that you can squeeze the sides of the back of your tongue with 1 or 2 fingers and then your thumb underneath. And then you're just going to gently stretch your tongue out, holding it for maybe 15 or 20 seconds. Should feel really good. Don't pull so hard that it's uncomfortable, but you should feel a nice release happening. And then after that, go ahead and tilt it or turn it and stretch one side so that it's sort of turned over and you're stretching one side more than the other. And then go ahead and do the other side. Beautiful. Now you should be feeling some release from that. I love it. I mean, honestly, you could do it every day. It's sort of like stretching before you run. It can really start to help that unwinding process of the tongue and give you some nice release and better range of motion. Tip number 2, tongue trill exercise. Now, if you can't do this, just skip it because some people find it more difficult than others to do. But if you can roll your R's, you're going to go ahead and do that. This really just loosens it up in a very natural way. It gets the airflow going. And let's start not even on a scale, just gliding from your chest voice or your speaking voice up into the top of your range and back down. So you're going to go and let's do that a few times. For me, it kind of helps to make kind of an R shape with my lips. Now, if you can do that on scales, you can use one of my scale patterns. One of my favorites is to do the 1.5 octaves, and I've got that scale here on my channel. Tip number 3 is the raspberry. Now, this one's kind of like a lip trill, but with your tongue sticking out between your lips. So you're gonna go, it's like you're 5 and you're being silly. All right, so just keep everything really relaxed. So you're just gonna let your tongue drape over your bottom lip. We're gonna do that same glide from the bottom of your voice, like your chest voice, up to the top and back down, as even in volume and in airflow and air pressure as possible. One more. And then this is another one that I really like to do on the 1.5 octave scale, which I have that scale pattern on my channel. And you can do that here like this. So you can use the scale to do that on. I'm actually going to put my headphones on. All right. So the next tip number 4, the NG, which is like hungry, and you're just going to stop on the NG part of the word. The tip of the tongue is just resting behind the back of the bottom front teeth. while the back of the tongue is up in that NG position. Hung, and that's where this exercise lives. One of the cool things you can do with this is you can actually monitor the tongue by putting your thumb underneath your chin where the bone comes together in a V. And I want you to keep your jaw nice and relaxed while you do this one too. And we're gonna, again, glide. And if you feel your tongue bouncing around or jumping around, that's okay. Just see if you can breathe into it for a second. Let that tongue relax. And then do one more. Great. Again, that's one that you can do on a scale. And I like to put a little gallop on it like this. Use my scales. And when you're doing the NG, make sure you don't like force it or get really, you don't need to do that. I want you to think real casual, stay real relaxed, think more like, just be real easy about it. Okay. Tip number 5. This is similar to the NG, only this helps a lot if you're someone who really pulls the tongue back. The tongue's gonna be on the roof of the mouth, and let's put the whole tongue up there. And really imagine that the tongue is forward. It's almost like pushing beyond the top teeth. It doesn't have to, but I want you to really just imagine that the tongue is very forward. Okay? And then you're gonna go, same thing. Yeah. Now, one thing that can kind of help, here's a little tip. When you're doing those glides up on the NG or even on the N, put a hand on the belly and feel how it leans out into the hand a little bit when you're doing the N or the NG. Keep that feeling of the belly leaning into the hand the whole time. So let's go back to the N. Good. One more time. And this as well, that octave and a half, 1.5 scale is really good for putting that N on. You can. All right. Now, tip number 6. This one's very awkward, but honestly really helps. So you're going to do a gug, 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 but you're going to stick your tongue out. So I want you to say gug, 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 gug. It looks really silly and it feels really awkward and weird, but I would recommend doing this on one of the scales. I would probably just do it on that same octave and a half scale. I like that one for it. In the higher key, it would be like this. Gug, 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 gug. And that really gets the tongue out of the way. And then the hope is after you do these, your tongue is going to behave itself and it's going to not be wanting to pull back and retract into the back of the throat so much. All of these really help to reinforce this tongue position being a little bit more forward in the mouth so that you keep that clarity and it just stays more relaxed and you don't get that Kermit the Frog sound. Give these a try and let me know if you notice these helping, giving you more freedom when you're singing and just a clearer, nicer tone. They've worked really well for my own tongue tension and I do them often. Don't forget to check out my scale patterns because you can use those to put any of these exercises on to practice them for yourself. If you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more tips on freeing your voice. Thanks for watching and happy singing.